MyDCStyle is here with Besty Garcete of the Zophia collection. Betsy, thank you so much for having me. I truly love your collection and all your designs. Can you tell me a little bit about the Zophia collection, as in when you got started designing?
Yes, I got started designing actually since I was a child, but I didn't officially launch any line until early this January 2010. And it was really simple. I just decided to start up a website, and really from just a few sketches, and I hired a seamstress, and that's how it started. It's very small, and yeah, so that's how it started.
Great. Well, as you know, MyDCStyle is a fashion blog where readers are really interested in finding out about how they can set themselves apart in the DC area when it comes to fashion. In other words, they don't have to go to New York or across the pond to get something. So what, to you, in your opinion, sets Zophia apart from other DC clothing designers?
Well, I pretty much, of course, want to make it easily accessible. I know DC is not known for its fashion, but I really maybe want to create a new evolution of fashion here, like a new culture. So I want to make this accessible to every woman. I want to bring high-end luxury with something affordable, and it's not something that can be easily found here unless you go to Neiman Marcus or Saks. But I want to, create a line that people know, and something that they can definitely always go to and know that they're going to find something sexy and still look classy and just modern. So
great. Well, just like it says on your website, which under your About section, you love effortless sophistication, and I think your collection is best described as edgy with a classic touch to celebrate the female form. I absolutely love this concept because most of the time women tend to wear things that are maybe a bit too tight and a bit too revealing, thinking that it's sexy. So what piece of advice do you have for women and how they can still look sexy without showing too much or being too revealing?
Well, I think just people apply the being able to wear something tight. I mean, that having something fitted is important, and that's what makes things sexy. But I think just in the right places. For me, for this collection, and for all my collections, probably the future, probably the waist, accentuating the waistline is just the best thing. Not necessarily something low. I think keeping it classy means something fitted in the right place. The length is really important for me. I always like the 3/4. I mean, I guess if you're, it depends what venue you're going to. If you want something, a little bit more for evening, you're going out, you can wear something short and just keep, the top a little less revealing. I mean, you can still look sexy in the show, but just make sure that you have everything balanced. I think for Zophia, we try and balance. We have low backs, and we have everything fitted, but we still keep the front fairly simple and covered. And I think that's the key thing that women should try and take from our line.
Great. I read also that your interest began in design when you were a young girl. Part of the influence came from your grandmother, Sophia. Can you just explain to us how she helped influence you and how Zophia, the name, actually became about?
During all the summers that I would stay with my grandmother, she would try and keep me busy, and she was a seamstress in her country, in Peru. And I just started playing with my dolls, and that's where it started. She started making little dresses, and that's why I learned. And then from that, I started sketching, but I never really, it would seem more as of a hobby for me. But I always loved looking my best, always had issues about what to wear in school, and I felt really constrained. Going to a private school, I had to wear a uniform, so I was always obsessed with figuring out what to wear. So any days that we wouldn't wear a uniform, I just would be so excited and trying to really represent my individuality. And it was, it's always been part of me, and it's part of my personality, and now I really want to put that into practice and make other women feel good about themselves, and that's really what just motivates me to continue doing my line.
Great. And then Zophia, how did you come up with that name?
Well, it was for my grandmother. I really wanted to create something that she saw that I really appreciate how much she really opened a new world for me, and I just stylized it and changed it a little bit around. I mean, it was originally with an S, but I changed it to a Z. And then we just did the logo, so that's what it is. It's simple.
Wonderful. And you did mention Peru, so would you say that your heritage and upbringing, spending time in Peru, has influenced your designs?
I wouldn't say that my time there or anything, but I would say my culture, yes. I would always watch my mother get dressed all the time, and she would always wear something, you know, similar to that, like the same type of pumps and like the 1940s silhouette, and I always was inspired by that, and I think that it's just so classic, and you can never fail with going with one of these dresses. So I think that, yeah, I'm inspired by the culture, and I think Latin American culture, you know, always, you know, women are always trying to dress up before they go. I think it's just part of their culture, and I think that it's a little bit more dressy than necessarily you would get from an American designer, but yeah, that's who we are.
Wonderful. Just a few more questions for you here. I guess then if you could sum up your collection here that we see, how would you, it's cocktail attire dresses, or?
Yeah, these are basically just cocktail dresses. I guess I wanted to, I mean, aside from just being cocktails, some of them are very formal. This could obviously be a long gown also, but I just want to keep the length. And I really was inspired by, of course, the biggest trend that there is now, the animal print. And yeah, so basically they're cocktail dresses, and as I mentioned before, they have a low scoop back. And see this cut in the front is not too low. The sleeves are puff sleeves, which is very in, everyone knows that. And anything else, I guess we have sheer material here. And see, this would be one of the shorter ones. This is one of our size 4s. And our signature look would be the red zipper detailing that you see there. So we're going to try and incorporate that in all of our collections.
How about that fabulous red one-shoulder dress?
Red one, it's, oh yeah, so I'm sure you've seen something like this before. It's a knit, stretch knit, and it's off the shoulder. It's very fitted, and same silhouette that you see, and yeah, so.
Beautiful. And how much would those pieces retail for?
I think they would definitely be within the 300 or 400 range.
Perfect.
Of course, once we launch our website, you guys will be able to see that, but pretty much in that range. So.
Okay, great. And to finish up here, I did want to ask you, are you influenced by any designers in particular?
Yeah, well, I think you would definitely see some Carolina Herrera inspirations in this. Definitely Narciso Rodriguez. I like his geometric inspired pieces. So I think those two designers definitely have a lot to do with what I emulate and what I look at. Yeah.
And if you had to give women watching, MyDCStyle fans that are so excited to see this, what piece or pieces of advice would you give them when they're trying to get dressed for an event or a cocktail party and just trying to look their best?
For me, I think simplicity is the best. The best, really. I mean, trying to put a million different things together that look great, I think you just need to focus on one key trend or one key item that you really want to focus on. It could be shoes, it could be, you know, a low back, and just really focus that and own it. And I think that's what fashion is all about, just focusing on something and just feeling great. So that's what I would do.
Great, Betsy. And what can we expect from your spring 2011 collection?
Well, we really are trying to see how we can create a collection that is inspired by Egyptian pieces. Maybe you'll see some gold, definitely not black. We really want to have no black in this collection, so I'm sure that you guys are going to love it.
Oh, great, Betsy. Well, I thank you so much for your time. Your designs, again, are beautiful, and I cannot wait to personally get in one myself. Can you tell us where we can find your website?
Yeah, definitely. You can find our website, ZophiaOnline.com, and we're also on Facebook, so if you just search Zophia, you'll find it. And we have a blog, dailyzophia.blogspot.com. And yeah, so we're also on Twitter, and so I'm sure you can find us on Google. You search Zophia and we're the first ones to pop up. So.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Betsy. I know you're extremely busy, and we do hope to see more of you soon.
Yeah, thank you so much.